Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief Recap. Want to just see if YouTube is doing its thing.
Welcome back to
Hey, there we go. Awesome. So it's Monday. It is the 2nd of November now. So coming into the home stretch of 2020. Oh, man, what a year. Ay, 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 ay. Obviously, huge political event coming up tomorrow, probably really tomorrow evening. So I don't know whether it's really in any of our best interest to read too much into price action today. I get the feeling it's a bit of a sort of backfilling kind of environment right now. We had talked in I think it was the broiler chicken show yesterday about how there's 3 day settlements. So most of the transactions that really had to get done were probably done sort of like Wednesday, Thursday last week, and now we're in this funny little vacuum here. If anything, today was a great day because we had one of our fundamental analysts come on the daily brief video here today, Jamie out of the UK, talk a bunch of fundamentals. Obviously, we have a bunch of things that are up in the air right now, so it was good to review. As well, we had CT. What do you say? TRICTO. Sjord on the call today, telling us a little bit about site development. And I think we have a new junior developer on the team, so more staff, more stuff. But anyway, as you can see, the dashboard is coming along. Getting a big dose of hiccups here now. So with all that said, breadth right now, you can see we are pointing down. Our little Russell 2000 indicator put in an outside downside Q reversal last week. So I get the impression that most of the broader market's kind of sanguine. Maybe looking at this short-term histogram of the DI readings, you can see, we're pretty negative here. Interesting how crypto is the only sort of one. Oh, actually, that's not crypto. That's currencies. Beg your pardon. I wonder why that's still sitting pointing up like that. Actually, Sjord out of the Netherlands, he did an interesting report on the euro today, and gee whiz, that thing sure looks dangerous. So I'm not quite sure about that currency picture. Actually, I do kind of like this idea that the whole market's trying to put in some sort of long-term pivot here. But we have the election, which is now. We have I think it's a Jupiter-Pluto conjunct event, which comes on the 13th. We've noticed that the market usually bottoms about a week or so, I think, before that actual event date. So actually seeing some sort of stock market bottom, some sort of insane move in the futures markets and stuff through this, and then sort of a calming on the other end of that event actually makes sense to me. The only problem here is, do we really want to even make any predictions of what the hell's going to happen through this? I don't think so. What I actually do like is we could see like a big counter trend rally in the stock market, big counter trend rally in things like gold and stuff, maybe even big counter trend rally in crude oil through that election event. And it sets up like a Druckenmiller short. He was famous for shorting the gold market on the 2016 election on a very similar type of move. So, this got trouble written all over it, both directions. US dollar now back up against its highs. And again, probably a lot of sort of people heading into the election event are just going to risk off. You know what? Let's just go sit in T-bills and don't stress about this and let everything settle out, and then we'll go put our money back to work in the market kind of thing. Stock markets came off, and as we sort of said, I got the impression Friday's action was a bit of a trap, and you can see there's a bit of follow-through buying this morning. Crude oil put in just the most horrendous tail here, and I remember yesterday in the broiler chicken, some viewers like, oh, just Brian says sell crude, I'm going to go buy crude. And, for whatever it's worth, I mean, I don't know whether you're an oil bull or not, but I do distinctly remember saying yesterday, you might want to go and buy crude, but this is really dangerous treading in here. We hit downside objectives. You can see huge FUs. Didn't even quite hit our foggy level here, so I'm not even quite sure if that's even still working or not. It might even be going off of something like that. But very, very choppy. You better wait for some sort of W here. I think, if anything, what they're doing is running stops now in this sort of vacuum of market. Run all these sort of weak buyers out on this big stop run, then run all the weak shorters out on this stop run, and at the end of it, it turns into a big nothing. Where are we here? Your sheet. So, bit of a vacuum right now. I think prices, and in fact, actually, it looks like right across the board, prices are up on both the risk on and risk off. One thing that did catch my eye this morning, which I was kind of pleased to see, but the gold market actually did hold these lows from back there in September and put in a little bit of a fractal bottom here. So the gold bulls are not dead yet. Things were looking a little dangerous there. But can you kind of see? I could see a huge stock market rally on like Tuesday evening futures, all that kind of stuff. But all they do is they bring it right back into a shorting level. I could see a huge counter trend rally in the crude oil, and they're just bringing it back to a shorting level. I could see a huge rally in the bonds and bringing it back to a short level, and the same sort of thing with the gold. I could see a big pop up here, but the gold's got to move a huge amount from even these levels to actually start getting the sort of trend to turn back up. So, I mean, gee whiz, look at the size of that range. You could easily see gold up at 1960 and easily 1844, sitting right now at about 1900. It's about a coin toss either way we go here. There's some serious volatility action being priced in here, so get ready for it. We talked a little bit about there a moment ago. It's not really like the stock market is rip-roaring rallying, but I think in this vacuum, it's sort of like remember, the venture cap part of the market is the most speculative part of the market. So, kind of that risk off, it makes sense that these guys are like, whoa, slow down, outside, downside key reversal in this proxy, which I think is a pretty good signal, right? We had upside key reversal here, and woo, away she goes. We had downside key reversal, and woo, down she goes. So when you get these key reversals, I think we ought to pay attention. And again, it's sort of like, you really want to take a hell of a lot of risk heading into this big political event? Is that really in your best interest? Probably not. Something that jumped out at me, I was a little surprised out overnight, but looking at the corn here, you can see we've actually carved out an inside bar failure here. Wow, that kind of surprised me. If you're such a rip-roaring bull, what the hell are you going and doing and putting in inside bar failures? But again, thinking Druckenmiller, I wonder, and get ready for it, crypto kids, I wonder if there's a big honking FU trap. Druckenmiller comes in on the buy side off of the original structure while the crypto kids are freaking out because the price is collapsing. I was a little surprised to see that, but that inside bar has fired now. So be careful, crypto kids. We've talked lots about, gee whiz, does it really make sense to be a buyer up top here? Probably not. And now, I'm even seeing people in like crypto social media going, watch out, a crash could come, 30% discounted Bitcoin price. I mean, you can't write better fiction than reality. I don't know what the hell's going to happen here. I mean, the irony of all of this is I still like this kind of thinking into this December big Apex event. That's this dotted line. So could we have a pullback into these key support levels here through the election to set up that final push higher? Sure. Wouldn't surprise me. I had kind of thought we were on a bit of a, it's interesting, right? So is this 3 drives? Is that the reversal? Remember, we kind of talked about it. There's some sort of top somewhere in here. Be careful, everyone. But, we were talking yesterday. It just looked like the whole market was setting up some sort of big parabolic move up here. And I did sort of broiler chicken shows through yesterday, and it was sort of like, are we going to hold this parabolic curve? And if we do, look out. But you can see through Sunday, went off, hung out with Liam, came back, and we lost the curve. And at that point, it's sort of like, oh boy, cool your jets. We had like bullish bot potential setups. They all evaporated on this failure here. So I do think that if we draw just a simple fib off of this high going back to this most recent low, you'll notice, gee whiz, good old reload zones coming back in here. So, and actually that's off of that level, isn't it? Yeah. We take it all. Well, why don't we take it all the way down there? So that will put reload. Oops. So many colors on this chart. Probably too many. Anyway. So 61.8 to 78.6 down in there somewhere. Anyway, the point I wanted to make, and I'm not exactly sure which one is which, but look at that. I mean, it's ridiculous when they do this. Especially yesterday when I did that comment about candle body lows for that person who asked that question. Look at that crazy ass low right there. Doink. Right into that level. And, of course, into our reload zone. So, interesting, too. I had left this little squiggly line thinking that the profile wasn't quite totally developed up here yet. And how ironic, because now this dump here, there is the election. Now you can see on a relative basis that profile is now starting to look pretty darn full. So we had talked a while about how there was kind of a funny notch up here. So you can see they're going through the process of just putting the finishing touches on that thing heading into the big election event. Now, I mean, nobody knows what the hell's going to happen here. Do you want to put yourself into a position where you could take advantage of a very violent swing on this election event? Okay, but understand, we can move violently either or. The general message for sight people right now is probably best in the event, in the face of a big fundamental event, probably best just to leave this alone. And, I even suggested to site members, because I am expecting some serious volatility, it's not a bad idea maybe just to throw some stink bids in down around 10 Gs. See if you can get a gift, a Druckenmiller gift, we'll call it, through the election. And, if we do blow off top and we start cranking up into, where the hell was it? Into these higher levels up here, yeah, maybe let them have a little bit. But I definitely think there's going to be a ton of volatility injected in here, guys. So get ready for it. If anything, if you are a crypto bull, I think you actually prefer to have the Druckenmiller trade be a pullback back into these lows, into these tails where there is actually some support, and you find out later on he's on the buy side, and this thing cranks back up to new highs here. I think that's probably in crypto kids' best interest. I don't think I would really like to see a blow off top here, and then that's probably the end of the move. But anyway, we'll see what happens. Long and short of it, like I said, I'm not really even interested in taking a position through this right now. The only thing I'll leave off with, listen to a really good presentation by Chico Crypto through the weekend. I think he does really good work. He's super jazzed about this coin. So now that it's started to come back down into technically acceptable levels, I can't chase. I listen to these people and it's like, awesome. You're the best. Cool. Excellent analysis. But then I have to pull up my price charts and I have to say, okay, well, do I start having 3 reasons to buy? And we walked you through that link trade last year. It was so perfect. We just did a nice little W at the bottom end of the range and then just walked you through. In fact, actually, let's see. I think we have that chart line around here somewhere. And I wouldn't be surprised. Like I said, that Creepo Chico, Crypto Chico. I think he does. I think he does some really good, solid analysis. I would listen to him. I'd subscribe to his newsletter. I think this was the chart because it was a fantastic. If you haven't seen this chart before, it's just a fantastic analogy of what we do. So I get the feeling, for whatever it's worth, that little stake, I think it was, stake, I get the feeling, for whatever it's worth, like similarly, it would be sort of like we're looking at it, big run up and it's come down and it's basing. And we walked through last year how these assets zip up, pull back into reload zones, put in W. So there's the buy signal. Then the asset goes and doubles in price. So you sell half on a double, right? And then it breaks out. And, then we start getting into, in this case, I think we called it Chico's penthouse, right? And it just goes, rallies right up, and then doink, done, you're done, right? I wouldn't be surprised to see a very similar story here. So I'm probably going to do the same thing. I really don't have a problem once we're at or below reload zones to actually start thinking about nibbling. We've got actually a confirmed bullish divergence here in the price. So it's staring you right in the face. Not quite at the point. Well, yeah, I guess Willie did get stupid there. So, volatility's coming out. So that's kind of good. I mean, is this the bottom? Anyone could tell. You can see the profile. It sure looks like the smart money's long from about $5 or so, which is basically the original bottom here. But, start accumulating these kind of names. Nanny nibbles, keep it simple. Don't over leverage yourself. It's not a bad way to be thinking about the future of crypto, And if I understand correctly, like I said, Tyler, I think, thinks highly of this name. So I'm willing to be a nibbler. So that's kind of my mental sort of state in crypto right now. I keep showing you guys this image. Well, not that one. Which one is it? And I think it really sort of summarizes, if you want to be an investor in crypto, try and find, have decent quality names. And then just try and identify what type of risk taker you are and get in there and just take your setups. So short-term traders, medium-term sort of investors, and then those long-term moonshot people. I think that it's all perfectly valid. Just a question of you figuring out what type of risk taker you are and getting in there and trading your plan. So I think I'll leave the presentation at that. Good luck to these politicians. No idea who's going to win. And of course, to finish off the conversation, you all know what I think of every single politician that's ever been alive and that will ever be alive. So it doesn't really matter which guy wins. I just want to get beyond this fundamental unknown so we can get back to hunting setups and trying to figure out where our society is going to go in the future. Okay, everybody, have yourselves a great day. All the best. And Kevin, if you could take us out of here, the only thing left for me to say here is bye for now.